Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everybody. Okay, today I want to continue with our new topic, which is impact testing. Okay, I think because I think in your case, yeah, you're already in the final year, so I think you are quite familiar with impact tests. Okay, maybe you have learned in the laboratory experiments as well, the PBL project. Uh, if you did before in the during your second year or first year term. Okay, so why the impact test is very important in mechanical metallurgy. Okay, before I further proceed, okay, here the example how we perform the mechanical test, how we perform the impact testing for the metals. Okay, as you can see at the right side of my slide, okay, you can see the bottom sample shows the orientation, the standard orientation following the ASTM standard for impact test. Okay, you can see here for impact test we need to create the V notch here. Okay, what's the meaning of V notch? Later you can see in the next slide. Okay, the top sample shows the fracture surface condition of the metal sample after we perform the impact testing. Okay, from this, from normally for impact testing properties, okay, the data that we get from impact testing, so we can have the initial results. Okay, whether we can see whether the material or the metal shows the ductile metal or the brittle metals. Okay, as you can see here, uh, this metal I can say a little bit brittle. Okay, after perform them impact testing. Okay, here is the video about Chappie impact test. Okay, I think you heard before. Maybe you have learned in your first year. Okay, for impact test, okay, we have a two type of impact testing. I can say the most common one, and then the most people are using this kind of technique following the respective ASTM standard. Normally we have two types. Number one, we have Chappie, and number two, we have Izot test. Okay, for this case, okay, for these two testing, you need to understand well how to differentiate between the Chappie impact test and also Izot impact test. Okay, here I want to show you one video. Maybe in this video didn't appear the sounds. Okay, but no worry, I will share with you this slide in PowerPoint form. Later you watch this video from the PowerPoint slide that I upload later in the e-learning portal. Okay, so let's see the video how people perform the Chappie impact test. Okay, there is a severe difference between Chappie and Izot. Please watch this video carefully. Okay, you need to watch the video inside my PowerPoint presentation later. Okay, this video duration about four and a half minutes. Okay, so in this video they can see how they perform the impact testing. Okay, in this setting of the Chappie impact test, as you can see here, this technician rotate the wheel, and then this pendulum will lift up until a certain height. Okay, and then they adjust the gauge into the 0 0 and release the pendulum. Okay, and then this pendulum will hit the sample. Okay, and this gauge meter will stop where how much the energy has been absorbed during the impact test. Okay, the rest of the video you can watch later in my PowerPoint slide. Okay, there is a few type of metal that has been performed using this Chappie impact test. Okay, the detail of this impact test for the Chappie type, you can go through this video later. Okay, all right. Here is really important slide. Okay, I repeat again, this is really important slides because this question has very popular either in a quiz, test, or final exam. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, you need to understand well what is the difference between CHAPI and ISOT impact test. Okay, in this video, summarize the major difference between CHAPI and ISOT impact test. So you need to watch this video later so you will understand the major differences between these two testing. Okay, so I will show to you this video. I take this video from YouTube. Okay, so maybe in this video you need to listen carefully what the things that has been addressed by the presenter. Okay, for this major difference, okay, normally for chapi and izot test, number one, we the major difference is the position of the sample during chapi and izot test. That's number one, position of the sample. Number two is the V notch location. Okay, bermaksud kita kena form something like defect V shape on the surface of the metal prior chapi or izot test. Okay, and then you need to find out what is other differences. Okay, in comparison between chapi and izot test. Okay, I don't want to comment a lot of this video. You need to watch this video intuitively. Okay, listen carefully, and then you need to jot down. I repeat again, this slide is really important for you. Okay, so you need to watch this video later. Okay, uh, again, why we did this impact test? Okay, number one, we want to determine the susceptibility of the material to brittle behavior. Okay, in simple word, okay, from this impact test, we can see, okay, we can observe, we can determine whether that metal is brittle or not. Okay, as you know, metal normally known as a ductile material. Okay, what's the ductile material? I think I already explained this in the tensile test topic before. Okay, by using the stress strain curve from the elastic region, you can see if the metal, let's say you perform the tensile test and then the tensile test value doesn't exceed the yield strength point of the metal, so meaning that we can say that metal is a ductile material. Okay, back into this case, okay, for this impact test we want to see the brittleness behavior of the metal. Okay, for example, bila kita do the testing, okay, the impact test value is high for this material, for this material. Okay, so this indicate that this metal material show high ability to absorb the energy, okay, before fracture. Okay, for this impact test, dia tak ada mengandungi something like apa ni, kalau untuk, kalau you still remember in stress strain curve from the UTS point, ultimate tensile strength, until the fracture point, there is a process we call a necking process. Okay, necking process meaning that you will get cup and cone shape after the perform the tensile test. So therefore, in this case, okay, for necking formation before fracture, okay, before the necking breaks into two pieces, There is a process we call as a you know initiations of the cracks propagation. Okay, the pore will start, and then the propagation will be move very quickly before fracture. But for impact test, I can say when you perform the impact test, either insert or chapi, the sample will immediately broke into two. So therefore, we want to see whether this metal uh, they are presenting the brittleness, but how about the ability of this metal to absorb the energy? Okay, when we talk about the brittleness behavior when we perform the impact test, okay, I think for this brittleness behavior, the we have for mechanical metallurgy, there's one important graph. Okay, I repeat again, is we have one important graph, what we call as a DBTT curve, ductile to brittle transition temperature curve. Okay, what is this curve means? Later in my next video, I will explain to you what is the DBTT is about. See you in my next video. Bye.